Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. Going to go back onto the owl again. We had come in and we shadowed the primaries and the secondaries and some parts of the mantle. And when I look at it, it still isn't dark enough. I don't think you could see it that well. And I'm going to come back in and we're going to punch it up again. Like I said before, when I tried to do this, sometimes when you're mixing paints, it's just not the right mix. And sometimes you need to get it darker. And when the paint dries on the piece, then I look at it again and then I evaluate it to make sure that it's giving me the color I'm looking for. And you see when I had done some staining on a paper towel that looked like it was okay, but it's just not dark enough. So we're going to go back and revisit this a second time. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm doing a build up, and I know I hope I don't lose some of you here. It's just takes time to get it where you want it, and I can't always say that every time I mix paint. And we're doing washes more than anything else, that the washes are strong enough. And then I don't want to put on paint that's so heavy that it's not transparent. So I'm trying to get some transparency, out of the paint, and it's just getting that right blend. So we're going to go back and revisit some of this, and I hope you have the patience to stay with me here, and we'll see if we can't darken up a little bit more along the way and get it just the way it should be. So bear with me, and we'll get there. Okay, I'm still working off the same paint we did on the last video here. Most of it's pretty good. This here, I'm going to go in and stir this a little bit. And what I want to do is I'm going to come to a clean spot here and just show you. See how that's pretty dark, okay? And that's what I'm looking for on this area that I'm trying to do here. We had done an area in this shoulder here. It came up through here and came down and around. And then I wanted you to keep the center sort of unpainted from this wash. So we're going to go back and do that again. So let me just show you what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to go to the outside edge, and I'm coming down. And you could, I would hope you'd be able to see it's darker. And maybe I got a little chicken on getting the colors real dark, but I wanted to do this in a controlled fashion. And I apologize if we're creating more work. Now, you could see this center section is lightening up, and that's what I want. When you're adding the wash, I come in, take the excess off, and then I just try to drag in one direction too, instead of scrubbing it. You're not scrubbing it on, okay? So that's the darkness you could start to see in here. Now, for the mantle, which is this section right in here, that I want to do the same thing. I'm going to come in and around and down and leave the center sort of clear. So I'm going to go back to the heavier mix. And this is the burnt sienna, okay? No, burnt umber. Ooh, I'm sorry. Slip of the tongue there. This is burnt umber, and I think you can really see the darkness showing up on here. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Now I'm coming in roughly about a 1/2 inch from the edges. You got an edge on this side coming around, and you got an edge on this side coming around. I'm trying to just come in about a 1/2 inch all the way around, and then you have a light spot right in there, just like you have it in here. You have like a light spot in there. So I accomplished that, and I'm going to just hold the head. I'm not going to try to use the hair dryer as much as try to accomplish enough of the painting. Now here's the boundary here again. It comes up and around. I'm going to start here. And once you see the paint going on, it's a little stronger, and I would hope that you can see this pretty good. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish, is this much right in this area here. Charge up my brush again, and I'm coming down this way. I don't want to get into the tertiaries here. I'm just staying above that, but I want to get right down to the end so that everything is flowing there, and we have a nice light spot right there. Now here's the other one for the mantle. I'll charge my brush up. I'm going to come out to the outside of it. Let's get some paint on there. Get some on the outside edge here. And just remember, like I said before, you always want to dry things in between. In the case of what I'm doing, I'm just going to use this one wash, and I'm going to just try to hold the head and let it air dry. But I will use the dryer here in a minute. I just want to accomplish this darkening in this area so that you can see that. I think this is can be seen readily on the camera. It's got some darkening, so you can see the light spot there, and the light spot here, and the light spot over here, and this side is dark coming around here. Okay, so you have like a center section there that is a little brighter. Now we're going to go into the wings, the primaries, secondaries, and tertiaries here. I think I'm using wrong one. Going to come into here. Don't want to put any fingers up in there. I'm holding the head now. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to darken these up a little bit. And I'll continue down, doing this grouping. Okay. And then this grouping. And these become a little darker. And don't forget the underneath side as well as the edges, because you don't want to leave them white. They are not white. Okay, then I'm going to come up here. See a spot I missed up here. I'm going to just touch that up. Continue down. And this will darken this area, I think, to the color we're looking for here. And apologize if it seems like we're doing double duty here, but that is what is needed to do it right, and that's what I'm trying to show you. And if I could say I could get a mix that's perfect every time, you know, we could save time, but that's not always true. So, okay, I'm going to do the edges. The edges, the underneath side here as well. Down the middle here. Okay, I think you could see there's more depth of color, and that's what I'm trying to achieve. You can definitely see some of the light spots in here and here, and I wanted to achieve that too. So I'm going to now dry this so that I can touch the body without worrying that I'm going to get my hands on the paint. So let me just do this. Bear with me a second. Let me get this really dry. It really darkened it up. You can see the differences in this. I see a couple of spots that I missed along the way. And before I get done, I'm going to show it to you just so you can see it. Here's some light spots up in here. And then as I turned this, I thought I seen some, like a light spot right in here too. So I will come in, and then there's another one down in here, right along here, that edge. So I will come back and do that, but I want to also try to get you into the face again. I was telling you on the last video that this mask edge right here, the black gets drawn in a little bit more. So I'm going to get some of the black. This is an ivory black, but it could be any black. So I'm going to put, I'll say a BB size or something like that. I'm going to really minimize the water. I'm going to put a couple of drops, 3 drops, maybe 4, and that's it. And I may even come back and add a little more paint. And I'm back to the number 3 brush, okay, which is the pointed one that we had used originally to do a lot of the barring. I'm going to stir this up, and what I'm going to do is come back with black again. I'm going to get a little more out. I'm going to play safe this time. Now, I'm not making a wash this time. I'm trying to go heavy. Can't even get this stuff out of the tube here. See if I could wipe it off to the side. No. There we go. I got a good glob on my brush. Now I'm going to mix that really well in there. Now I'm trying to get a creamy color, not like a half a tray of water. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to keep this really creamy so that it has a heavier consistency, so that when and I'll show you in a second here, I'm going to talk about staining quality. If I go, I got a little excess on there, but when I lay this down, you're getting black, you know? So I'm going to rinse my brush so I don't have that pasty black in there. I want the cream part, and then I'm going to roll the brush. Okay, let me get some of this water back out of here. So I'm going to roll that brush to get it into a point like we did before. Then I'm going to start, excuse me, I'm going to start, let me get my optimizer so I can really see it. There we go. Sorry about that. Got my optimizer, which is these guys here for magnification. And if anybody's ever interested in these, I do carry them, and I have them with lights, so it has a concentrated light onto the subject that you're doing or the area, plus magnification. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in. Now I'm not going to go outside. I'm pulling this towards the eye, okay? So I'm going to come in again about 3/4 of the way into the black and then pull it out. And I don't want to zip it along. I'm trying to make it look hairy. So I'm coming out, oh, let me say, about 3/16 in the center area right here, right in this area, and then we fade back and not get as thick. Okay. Now let me charge up my brush again, just to make sure I got plenty of paint on there. Hope you're in range. I'm going back over black again. And I'm going to pull just a little bit out, but I'm not really going, I'm really doing it, getting wider up in here. Now, let me come back here, get a little bit more. Hope you're seeing this well. And I'm trying to, because we got those grooves in there from the painting, I mean from the burning, I'm trying to just get like feathered edges so that they look like they got some splits in them. Okay, so I'm a little light on the color here, so let me come in just a hair more. I'm thinking maybe 1/4 of an inch in at this spot and feather it out. I'm just not, I'm pulling. And by the time we get up to here, we're down to maybe a couple millimeters or something like that, and going the same way this way. I'm trying to get this black in here. And I'm always pulling in towards the eye rather than going to the outside edge. I'm trying to get more of the black inward. Okay. Now, I'm going to let that sit, and I'm going to flip it around. I'm not going to dry it, but you could dry it. I'm going to try to be conservative here with not using the hair dryer and coming on this side. And as long as I don't get my finger over here, I'm okay. So here we go. We're going to come in here, and I'm pulling in, and I'm extending this about maybe 1/4 of an inch in total. come in here. Then I get thinner as I come out. And I come up to here. Now, if you never got the whole boundary of the mask of the face, you could come in and split some towards this side if you didn't get it all before. You know what I mean? But we're trying, you can see I've grown this inward. And the thing I want to do is get this really dark. Again, if I have too much water in the system, it doesn't get as dark. That happens sometimes. And what we could do is always come back and revisit. And I know for some of you, the painting may be a pain. And I'm looking at some of this here that I just put down. I think I'm going to dry it and then paint it again, because the wetness in there is just not covering. You can see, I can see it anyway, that there's real dark here, and then as I moved in, it's lighter. And I don't mind a little bit, but there's just too much there. So let me dry this real good now. The only thing I'm doing different from the last video to this was darkening basically the wings and stuff like that. And I wanted to concentrate on coming back and getting this mask in a little bit more. Now, you could probably see it. It's black here. And it's a little lighter as we moved in because we just painted it. So I'm going to ask you to come in, stir the paint up real good, get it into a point. And now that I've encroached that way, I'm going to come back in here. I'm not going to the outside edge. I'm just working within here. And I'm just touching up the inside edge still, but trying to make it heavier so it coats more. Okay. That seems to do it. Now, let me do it again. This side. You can see it again here. There's a real dark area out here, and it's lighter in there, so I'm going to come in and pull that out some more. Enhance the darkness on this mask. There we go. I think that's got it. Now let me just touch up something right here, just to look like it's balanced. Okay, now we're going to do some other things, but I'm going to try to darken another area that I would like to get as well. You have in the head here and the tufts, I want to come in and I'm going to, I don't have much of the dark, so I'm going to come in here and add some of this intermediate into, let me do it right. Hang on. Let me get the paint out. Always trying to cut corners when I should be doing it just right. I'm going to, this is burnt umber again, remember. I'm going to go back. We're going to pick up some of that. About a BB size. Going to mix that in. And see how it's really hanging onto the brush here. I want to try to liquefy it, but not to the point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I'm going to come in here. And I want to stir that really good. Hope I was in the scene here. I put about 5 drops of water in there to a little, about the size of a BB. Now, let's see how dark this is. This is going to be pretty dark. So I'm going to do 2 things here. I'm going to get some of this and put it in here just to play safe because let's see how dark we are. Yeah, it's a good stain. I'm going to bring a little bit more into this one. Now this had more water in it. Now, that's about where I want to be. I don't want to be as dark as that, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is going to pick up some of this back to my 6-inch brush, or number 6 brush. And what I'm going to do is right above this white brow here, I'm going to come in, not on the brow, and I'm going to tone down this tuft. And then I'm going to run some of this back like this. I'm coming up along this way. Go back and get some more. Take the excess off because you don't want it to run. But I want to darken this area right in here. Okay. It comes through the tuft here. Okay. And this is now burnt umber. If I didn't say it before, I want to mention it again. Come in, and it makes this head darken more, and the tufts darken more. And for now, we're going to give it one coat, but we may revisit this by the time we go, and I'm going to do the back of the tufts as well. Okay. And then I'm going to come down on the head like this. And I'm going to, and then what I'm going to do is rinse my brush, take the water out, and then sort of just soften it at the ends here so that it blends off. Now, I'm going to go back, still keep the dark area going, and I'm going to come around to this side, pick up some more, come right into here. And what we're going to do is, normally I'd have another tray with water right here, and I can water it down so that I can diffuse this, and I'll show you. What I'm going to do is I'll rinse my brush up, and then it's just wet, and then I'm just going to let the water soften it. Now I'm going to come back again, and I'm going to come right up to the dark area of the black, right in here, down into here. bit more. Okay. And when we get to about this area right in here, I rinse my brush out to get, see, it has hardly any color on it. And I'll do the same thing on this side. I'm going to come in here. You can definitely see the color going on, and it's darker. Okay. I'll come around here a little bit and drag it down just a little bit. Back in here. I've got a light spot right there, so I'm going to hit that again. Sometimes you do get that. And now I'm going to rinse my brush out, take most of the color out, and then where I stopped with the wash, which would be right around here, I'm sort of diffusing the heavier mix to just blend off, okay, so that there's no line of demarcation where I darkened it and then lightened it. And that's what happens on this bird. There's a lot of darks and a lot of lights. Now, I'm going to hit this one more time with the hair dryer again, so bear with me here. Okay, now I'm going to come up with the same mix again, and here's the density of it. See it? It's not black. I mean, it's not real dark brown, but it still stays fairly dark. So I need that type of wash. I'm going to come up in here again. Second time, and wash that out right through the whole tub. Okay, then I'm going to come up here and just sort of blend it off like this. I don't want any hard edges, and what I mean by that is if it came off strong, I need you to blend it out. I'm going to come up into the tub, mix that up good. Comes in here, a little more than I need there. And I'm just doing it like on top of the head here, just lightly coming across. So when you look at that head gets darker right in here, and especially the tufts. Now I'm going to do the back of the tufts. Don't want to forget them. Okay, and I would say for this segment, we're pulling it together pretty good now. So I'm going to let that dry. And then on the next one, we'll do a little bit more. And I said I would get to the tail, but today wasn't the day. But we'll probably do that on the next video, okay? And I'm not trying to put my hands in on the wet area there. So I'm going to let that dry by itself, but you can see what's happening. We still have work to do around here, and we're having some white streaks flowing onto the breast, and we're starting to pull it together. So hang in there. Hope you got something out of this video as well. I would ask you, if you could, to give me a thumbs up if you would, if you really enjoy this, and subscribe to my channel. And if you can pass the word on about me as well, I'd appreciate that. It helps in the growth of my channel, and that will allow me to do more lessons as I go. So again, I'm going to just reiterate what I had done. I had mixed the darker brown originally, which is probably about a pea size to maybe a quarter of a cup of the brown, not a half a cup, but a quarter of a cup. And you're looking for a stain that's like this before you apply it. If you put your brush down, and you can get that dark. And here's what real dark is, and that's almost out of the tube. So, and what I did is I washed everything in the mantle and the shoulder, and I left the center, which you could see right here, unpainted, same way here, and I do that on both sides. Then with the same mix, I came in here and I darkened all of this area, the primaries, secondaries, and so on, right on up, except the mantle and the shoulder feathers. And you could see they really darkened a lot compared to what I had before. And then the last stage, we got some black, and I extended maybe a quarter of an inch in from the edge, the markings, okay, roughly about a quarter. And I want you to feather the edges so that they look like they have splits in them, okay? And you want to use a pointed brush as possible as you can get. And then I got that same dark mix, which I was using down in here. I mixed a little bit more because I was running out of it. And I come up here and I darken this. And I gave this 2 coats right in this tough area and right at the top. But only 1 coat, the first coat, comes down to about here and off of here, okay? And if need be, and I see later that we need to go to another coat or something like that, I'll make a recommendation to do that, because like I said, I can mix this, and if the water and the paint isn't the right consistency, then we get a lighter mix, and that's something you just have to play with here. So we're getting close, and we're starting to really put some character into the owl, and I hope you're still enjoying it. And we will pursue on, and I'll see you on the next video and see if we can't get this baby to fly, okay? So see you then, and thank you again for supporting me.